Hello, friends, and welcome to yet another figure study where we appreciate the form in Transformers, the aesthetics of Sentai, however you want to put it. I don't know. I've been thinking of tweaking that intro a little bit for this kind of stuff, but haven't fully decided yet. Anyway, today, taking a look at the Delta Megazord from Power Rangers in Space, and this is a thing that I was totally not planning on getting, and then I was browsing eBay, just looking up Megazord, seeing new listings, as you do. And somebody posted this, and it was a lot cheaper than I had seen this thing being listed anywhere else. And I was just like, you know what? For that price, I will bite. And now I have the Delta Megazord. And it actually is complete as far as I can tell. It even has the little boosters in the back. So, go me. Yeah, this thing is interesting. It's basically just a big... It's just a big triangle. That's... Yeah. It's sort of like a flying space Dorito. It's just, yeah, it's a wedge. It's a futuristic space Dorito. This is a bit floppy. But, yeah, I don't mind the look of it, honestly, I think. Get that placed and bring his buddy in real quick here so we can kind of get a look here. There's the Astro Megazord. So we've got the Astro Megazord, Delta Megazord. You know what's eventually coming. But for now, you can see, while the Delta Megazord is a completely different shape, I think the design... It's a little bit different, but it still sort of fits with the Astro Megazord. They both still have the old, kind of old-timey toy aesthetic going, which is very cool. And we'll get you out of the way here for now. Still love this thing. And this one, back to the Delta Megazord. So, black and silver is always a great color combination. And, you throw red on there and just... I am putty in your hands, basically. Not entirely sure which is the correct orientation for the fins, but yeah, not a whole lot going on here. Just there is some nice detail, though. And yeah, the paint's definitely chipped and worn in places, but considering the price I paid for this thing, I don't really mind. And sometimes I feel like with older toys, paint scuffs and whatnot add character. I do like how, when viewed from behind, this thing almost looks like it could be a Star Destroyer, just with the giant boosters and everything. The underside is, of course, Robot Central. But yeah, just the overall ship mode, I think, is totally fine. And again, just some nice, not necessarily easy to see at first, molded details there. Just all along this thing. And I do really enjoy the black and silver color combination, as I've said, but I do really like it. Now, for actual size comparison stuff, here we have our Titans Return Deluxe mainstay. Hello, Brainstorm. And there we have Samus, again, our gold standard. So you can see, pretty sizable ship. And if we stand it up and scooch that up a little bit, you can see this guy's going to be, he's a Megazord. He's going to be bigger. So, get these two out of the way. And now I suppose there's not much else to do but to transform this guy. But yeah, I will say, just again, I like the sort of classic sci-fi futuristic ship thing they got going here. Even if it's a bit nondescript, I do think it looks pretty cool. Alright, get this guy into robot mode. And here we have the Astro Megazord, sorry, the Delta Megazord in its robot mode. And this, I don't know what it is about separating the feet from the rest of the torso, but it is a scary solid clip connection, and this is probably going to be the last time I transform it out of vehicle mode because I just worry that I'm going to break something when I yank it apart like that. But, I mean, it all snaps back in just fine. And yeah, I mean, I'm nowhere near as crazy about this as I am about the Astro Megazord. I mean, it does still have like an old school sci-fi toy kind of look to it, especially with these nifty chrome Gatling gun fingers. I do really, as corny as they are, I really like those. And it's got a nice little face there. I do like also how this flips down and fills in that gap. I think this might just be due to age, but like the shading on here is a little bit off, but it's okay. I can also see some paint rubbing going on, but again, old toy, good price, don't care. But overall, I do like this guy. He's got, definitely not one I would get just for himself. I would leave that to the Astro Megazord, but this is still good, and like black and yellow is another good color combination. He's got definitely less silver being shown, more gray, which is okay. It's mostly the thing that disappoints me about this guy is the shape of the robot mode. Specifically the fact that he's got these enormous feet. I mean, like, enormous feet. Like, just from the knee down is just, he's got the back half of a spaceship for a leg. It's kind of silly, and not in the best way, I don't think. But the rest of him looks good. And I do, like I said, I like the whole black and yellow and a little bit of red, a little bit of silver. Like, it's a nice overall color scheme. I don't even mind like the triangle head. It's just those legs. Not a super fan of how the legs transform. Not a super fan of how the legs look. But put him next to his buddy, and you can see they don't quite share the same style. Like, they both do have the again, it's similar to ship mode, although I think the robot mode, it's a bigger difference, where the Astro Megazord seems much more old school robot toy than the Delta Megazord. Not that this doesn't have that look, but like there's much more just with like the proportions and some of the other features, like these big old clobbering hands, and yeah, there's more to this guy that evokes that feeling to me than this. And they don't look bad side by side, but the Astro Megazord still takes it by a wide margin. And while we've got these guys out here, do some size stuff real quick. There is our Titans Return Deluxe, and Samus as our gold standard yet again. And yeah, they are big. I mean, the the Astro Megazord is clearly the tallest out of the two of them, and really, it's like if you just go to like the top of the head, the Delta Megazord is definitely like, it's like pretty much a full head shorter than the Astro Megazord, even with all that changing and the shifting. And yeah, I do like the fact that those pieces swing out to extend the let me get these out of the way while I'm talking. I like that those pieces swing out that will extend the length of the Delta Megazord's legs, so that way he's not quite as squat. It does kind of give him a little bit more proportion, but still not great. And because these things are so huge. They're also like super close together. There's like not really much space there, which makes his stance look a little bit like, even though they're both just like straight up and down, his stance looks more stiff because he doesn't have as much of a like split in the legs. Just, yeah. But there is a little bit more to this, as you all know. And unlike before when I did like a previous comparison thing, I'm gonna just go straight into the combination because honestly, I feel like that's the only reason to have this guy. So let us get started. And this is gonna be this is gonna be interesting. Behold the Astro Delta Megazord. Again, wasn't necessarily planning on having this happening, but good price on the Delta Megazord. And honestly, I kind of love this combination. It's silly because, you know, the Delta Megazord basically just becomes a three-piece suit for the Astro Megazord. He's the, you know, shoes and pants, you could say, shirt / jacket and hat. But I actually do really, really like this look. The only real complaint I can levy at it is I wish the arms were just a little bit longer, because these arms are only slightly longer than the Astro Megazord's arms. And the Astro Megazord's arms were a good proportion for just the regular guy, but now that he's taller, got effectively longer legs, these arms just look too short to me. But other than that, I do really like this look. And the blue and the black work fairly well together, I think. I mean, black pretty much goes with anything, and then you've got like silver and chrome kind of on both, and like red on both, that kind of, it all just kind of ties everything together with these little detail elements, which I do really, really like. And then you also have the window and the chest, which the lights and sounds can work through. Now, I didn't go over this in my video about the Astro Megazord. The lights and sounds work, but the light is so bright it hurts my eyes, and the sound is incredibly loud and shrill. So the electronics work, but I took the batteries out immediately because they were annoying. So, not going to be showing it off in this video either. I mean, maybe it's a little bit quieter because this is blocking the speaker, so that might dampen the sound a little bit. But honestly, the sounds that the Astro Megazord makes are just obnoxious and loud, and just the lights are painful to look at. So yeah, I'm fine with this. Without the lights and sounds, I think this is great. Now, I do like the, I really like the chest design. I like the broadened shoulders. Raise that up a little bit. I'm actually, yeah, they get in the way a little bit, but I actually really dig the Gatling guns on the arms. And I mean, if you want to move them, you can. So you can get some more posing out of them that way. But I like that look. And this this cone head, it's like, it's dumb, but it's dumb in a way I actually really like. The way that this all kind of works together. It again goes back to that like old school toy design where in some cases it was just kind of goofy sci-fi and not hardcore awesome. No, I did want to say this though. I'm actually impressed with how clean the back is with this combination. Like, there's pretty much nothing extraneous here. Bring that down a little bit. Like, you get this bit that attaches on the back, but it, like, you know, it tucks away. It's not really sticking out any further. I kind of like how the arms become rocket boosters, and at first I wasn't too sold on using these little pieces to kind of fake the arms being rocket boosters, because it kind of does still look like the hands are just holding stuff. But it works, and you don't really notice it from the front regardless. So it's a nice little detail that I don't mind existing. So yeah, I am super glad I managed to get my hands on this guy, even though it wasn't planned. Now let's do some size comparisons real quick. And we're going to do some actual Megazord size comparisons this time, because I feel like I might be learning a little bit. So, got the Astro Delta there, the Shogun Megazord, this may require some shifting. Let's bring you forward. It's funny because Wild Tosai King doesn't seem that huge because he's on my shelf with like all of the other even bigger combinations, but wow, okay, he kind of sort of towers over the Astro Delta Megazord. And just because, you know, for continuity's sake, we'll bring in our Titan's Return Deluxe and Samus. Oh goodness. So here you can see that the Astro Delta Megazord is a pretty sizable dude. I mean, he ends up being slightly taller than, I guess you could say, like your average Megazord in terms of like the Shogun Megazord. But still a good size. Definitely definitely not a bad height. Get you out of the way here. Yeah, I was not wasn't really thinking, but yeah, he's sort of dwarfed by Wild Tosai King. So there we have the Astro Delta Megazord in its entirety, and again, was not planning on getting the Delta Megazord, but I'm ultimately glad I did. I am missing a few stickers, so I'm sure that also kind of throws off the look a little bit, but honestly, this looks really good. This is just, it's classic toy. It's funny how the Astro Megazord evokes the classic toy feeling. The Delta Megazord, not so much, but then combine them together and it's like, yes, absolutely yes. This is just a really fun, goofy looking in a good way combination. Love the way the different colors play off each other. Love the overall shape. Love just the somewhat silly details, the somewhat cool details. Only real gripe is I wish those arms were a little bit longer. Just, yeah, I mean, you could technically, because yes, he has shooting fists, because why not? You could technically kind of fake it if you could somehow get it so that it's like hanging on like that, but you kind of have to Get back on there. Get back on there. Why aren't you getting on there? There. Yeesh. Yeah, I do wish the arms were longer. One other thing I would like to say, just in case anyone else out there is watching this thinking of getting the Astro Megazord or the Delta Megazord or both, I think I mentioned this with the Astro Megazord. I ended up getting the head and the body separate because it ended up being a lot cheaper. I didn't get any of the accessories because I don't care, but just saying, if you want to save a little money, try to see, like, price them piece by piece, you know? Don't get too crazy on, like, trying to get everything all at once, because then you could end up spending at least a couple $100 or more. But, yeah. And I also wanted to say, I've seen videos of this combination from, like, when the toy first came out, maybe a couple years after, and I don't know what it is. Like, the other people I've been seeing had a lot of trouble with the chest hanging on. Like, it would just pop off, sort of, you know, without, like, it would just easily pop off. For whatever reason, on mine, that connection is very solid. I don't know why mine is so much different than everyone else's, but, like, you can see, I can just do this, and, like, even if I, like, it holds on. I don't know why mine is such a, is it still, yeah, still hanging on. I don't know why the connection on mine is so much more solid than what other people had, but I mean, I'm glad it's solid. But yeah, just if you see some of those videos and you're worried about the chest not staying connected, just know that I think it's something that just depends on the, you know, the individual toys. So it's possible that you could get one that's loose, or it's possible that you could get one that's nice and solid like mine. I don't know. Anyway, that has been my look at the Delta Megazord from Power Rangers in Space, and also the Astro Delta Megazord. Thank you everybody for watching. As per usual, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Any combination of those three would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.